Hello, hello. How are we doing this evening? Welcome in, Keisha. How are you doing this wonderful Monday evening? The play with viewers bot was messed up again. I think it was messed up the last time I streamed too. So anyway, we got that figured out. Yes, swanky blue fireplace. I've been working on the lighting. I have more to do, but we're getting there. You can't really see it, but I have my horn up there on top of the fireplace. So not sure. I was kind of hoping things would pop out a little bit more up there, but they're not. So I don't know. We'll see. There's something else I can do. Which is weird because I'm certain I saw you clear it at the end of the last stream. Yeah. And it might have been cleared, but for some reason the bot had turned itself off again. Not sure what's going on with that. And thank you, Jenny, for resubscribing for 6 months. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think the blue does look cool. We can mess around with that a little bit. I can show you guys what we can do here. We got, I use Govee lights. So I'm looking at trying to get some more stuff going on. We can do some pretty cool stuff with them. Um, Barney the Mystic. How are you doing, Barney? Welcome in. Welcome in. Trying to figure out what we had going on here. I'm streaming from a new place, Barney, so we're just messing around with some of the stuff I have going on in the new room here. Oh yeah. I guess this is when we do when things go to the left-handed path there or something. I don't know. All kinds of different light setups we can do. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool. I still have boxes all over the room. I'm still completely not unpacked yet. Um, but I'm hoping to get it. I want to get a little bit better of a camera angle and stuff like that. But I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be a good looking as we get it going for sure. So anyhow, if you'd like a reading, go ahead and exclamation join. I do rune and tarot readings. I think Keisha, you're already in the queue, so we'll get started here in a little bit. With you, how is everyone else doing this evening? How are you all doing? You're getting hyped for your 400 miles backpacking. That's crazy. Where are you? Where are you going to be backpacking, Barney? You get you get 2 days off, Keisha. I'm excited. Yeah. Ooh, Scotland to London. Well, that sounds exciting. I've never been. I've never been to England or Scotland. I've heard from people that I've worked with that went to school in Scotland that it's absolutely amazing. So I'm sure it will be a beautiful backpacking trip for sure. That sounds like a really good time. Sounds fun. Yay, Keisha gets 2 days off. Yes, Jenny is putting together our new dining room table. You want to see if you can do the nomad lifestyle long term. Yeah. Oh, you got your magnet, Keisha. Awesome. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got that. So yeah, getting settled in. Getting settled in. I still got we have a lot of boxes unpacked. And I think like the normal everyday stuff is kind of put up and where it needs to be. But still boxes that we have to get unpacked. Still some furniture that's just kind of hanging out in the garage. And I noticed we're starting to get down to the um like those odd boxes where stuff was just thrown in a box because you didn't really know where to put it in the old house, and now we're at the new house, and now we have to find out where we're going to put the stuff we don't know what to do with here. So we got that kind of stuff going on. Um, so yeah, it's just been busy. I'm sorry I was running a little late tonight. I went out to get some odds and ends done, and time kind of ran away on me a little bit. We haven't been able to enjoy our secret backyard at all yet. Namely, thank you, Barney. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Bye marbles.
Thank you. Haven't been able to enjoy the secret backyard at all yet because um, it was raining so much when we moved, and the yard's kind of finally dried out now. So we'll probably get out there soon. Probably get out there soon. We've just been busy. Every day's been busy. So um, tomorrow we have some stuff going on. Someone installing something and trying to get some more unpacking done. We haven't started hanging anything on the walls yet. So that will be coming. And of course, with Jenny being artist, we have tons of stuff to hang on the walls. Um, I have my guitars behind me that I'm going to hang on that wall, I'm pretty sure. I have some cool like wall guitar hangers. So maybe before Thursday stream I'll have those hung up on the wall, maybe. That could be cool. But just torrential downpours. And a matter of fact, we're supposed to have some really bad thunderstorms tonight. So if all of a sudden I disappear, if my stream disappears, not me, I won't go anywhere. But if my stream disappears, you know why. Let me do something real quick. I feel like do do do. Okay. Your dream is becoming more and more real the deeper you search. 365-day campsites in the UK. That sounds that sounds like that could be really interesting. I don't know if I could do that. I enjoy going camping from time to time. I haven't been camping in years. I have to admit, I am I'm way too tech obsessed. But I love the idea of it. I love the idea of it. And I feel like the transition probably is not to say that it's easy because I don't think that it is, but it's making those kind of transitions is easier than you think they would be. Like going without certain things is easier because once you go without it, you don't miss it anymore. You're just bored with the home comforts now at 42. Tent, cooker, sleeping bag, dog. Yeah, exactly. Um, like I did have to go like when I was deployed in the military and stuff like that. It was like, you know, the new normal can become normal really quickly. And humans adjust to their conditions fairly easily. So if it's not there, you might miss it, but you'll move on. But choosing to make that decision, I think would be a big step, especially someone like me who's getting, who's concerned with what fancy RGB lights I can get. Way too materialistic and fancy there, I think. But I think I think that's important to keep that connection, you know. That's something I'm starting to learn is a stronger connection to the earth, a stronger connection to nature and what's, I guess, quote unquote, real. Yeah, seems the safest thing to do soon. Maybe you'll already be adjusted when everyone else has to do it. For sure. Oh, man. So, yeah, that's, I did put up on the Discord. Um, if you haven't, um, if you haven't seen, I put up a schedule. So for the rest of the summer, which will be roughly the middle of August, until the middle of August, I plan on streaming on Monday and Thursday evenings. Some Thursday evenings, that's going to be the witching hours. But when the witching hours isn't going on, I'll do another reading stream. So twice a week for me right now. I would like to keep that going once the school year starts, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. See how that goes once that time gets here. But that's what I would like to do. All right, Keisha, how about we go ahead and jump into. Oh, skipped Keisha. All right, so you're going to be next, Barney. Yeah, I hope so too. I have no clue what this year holds for me because I'm going to be in a new place, all new stuff. Hopefully, it goes a little better. So we should be able to go. All right, Keisha. Any particular questions tonight? Would you like a rune reading or a tarot reading? Let me know and we can go ahead and get started. You're talking to an attorney tomorrow, and whichever you would help feel me get a general idea on how things will go. I've been wanting to change things up, Keisha. I've been doing the same like tarot spread and all those things. So let's see if we can maybe change something up for you a little bit. Um, Let's do the 3 card spread, but instead of doing the past, present, future, we'll do strength, weakness, and advice. Maybe that would work. Does that sound like that would something like that would work, Keisha? To me, that seems kind of. Yeah, I've been doing, and I really like the Norns, the past, present, future, but they're not so good for. Um, I don't know. They do work. I just been kind of wanting to try something different. I want to try a completely different spread. I haven't. It's really the only spread I've worked with. So, see. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Strength, weakness, advice. All right. So for the strength, we have the Two of Wands. Hmm. So the twos are, kind of the middle of a cycle there, of a mini cycle. And this is about having too many choices. Um, and the fact that choices can be overwhelming. So this is about having to make a choice between two, having to pick between a passion and something that's a necessity, something you want over something you need, and having to make those decisions. And this is the strength position. So we're going to focus on um, here being a benefit of making the decision that is the most needed for you. But you need to choose between true and false passions. Consider whether a desire comes from your deepest truth or has been imposed on you by others or by society. Wands are also the suit of courage, and you will need that to make the right decision. So, all about making decisions, about having to make a decision for yourself. I think that is a strength for you right now, Keisha. You have made that transformation and you have been making decisions for yourself instead of for others and doing what you want to do instead of what others want you to do. Now, for that middle position, which was the area of weakness, we got the Ten of Pentacles. And of course, here we're talking about stability. We're talking about security, wealth, abundance, comfort, plans for the future, a balanced and healthy life. A healthy tree has deep roots, a strong trunk, and the branches that reach for the sky. Your current family tree, however you define family, is in great condition. Your roots are your inheritance, which could be material, spiritual, cultural, or simply how you grew up. Your trunk is the life you have created, your home, family, work, friends, hobbies, spiritual practices. Your branches can be children, but also can be plans for the future. Pinnacles are about the material world, but they are more than that. They symbolize the 5 points, one for each element. So, in this being in the position of weakness, Keisha, I feel like that's an area that needs to be worked on. Hello, apples and lemons. How are you doing? Welcome in. I feel like this card is talking about abundance. This card is talking about the belief that you can have abundance, that you can have the stability, the security, the wealth, and abundance that you deserve, Keisha. And that's going to change because you started making these decisions for yourself. You've started doing things that you want to do rather than what other people expect you to do. And that's going to help you with what we have going on with that manifestation and being able to accept abundance. And then for that third part here, we have the Two of Swords. I see we have two twos here, which kind of makes me think that we were talking about before the twos, the ace being the beginning and the three being the completion of a mini cycle. We have the two kind of being things that are in action, things that are taking place. Just like that Two of Wands, that's the position you're in right now, where you've decided to start making those different kinds of choices. Uh, this Two of Wands, oh, sorry, we're looking at Two of Swords. I'm going to read the Two of Wands again. So for the Two of Swords, we're talking about, once again, you need to make a decision. You don't have the information that you might need to have. You could be feeling conflicted, that your head, your mind, and your logic are in conflict with what's going on in your heart. The Two of Swords is about reason, but the Sea and Moon show that intuition plays a role in this decision as well. This card tells you that to make this decision well, you have to use everything at your disposal. The ravens are Odin's companions, thought and memory, so you will rely on past experience and logic, because wizards believe that power and knowledge are increased through dedication and study. The blindfold lets you know that you don't know everything and probably won't before an action is required. So the advice here is that you're at conflict with yourself on what's going on. And I don't know if this is reflecting on what's going on with the attorney, but this card is saying that your mind, your logic, your your brain, you want to do something, one thing that's logical, but your heart is hoping for something else. Um, what's going on with this is somehow split in two, and you have to choose which way you're going to go with this. You have to make a decision how that's going to, which way you're going to go. And you have to make that decision without having all the information. All right, let me catch up with what you're saying here. Okay, so there's a lot to it. That's exactly it. What I want to do over what I need to do. Yes, what you want to do over what you need to do. Doing things for yourself for sure. Um, and I'm worried that because it's her profession, I'll be easily talked into something that my heart doesn't want out of anxiety. And that's part, so all that plays into a role. So you have to decide what you want to do, and you have to make sure that you're taking actions for yourself, that you're doing things for yourself instead of for other people. You have to make the decision on what you want that to be, and you have to accept the fact that you deserve all of this stability, security, comfort. Because the universe can try to give it to you, but you have to accept it. It's all tied in. I wanted us to be able to talk. That's proven impossible. I don't want to do this, but I have to go with some of her direction because I don't know what to do legally. I heard trust your strength from the Two of Swords. Those are gorgeous cards. Well, thank you, Keisha. Yeah, well, I've always liked this deck. One of your faults. No problem, Keisha. I wonder if it's not necessarily about the lawyer, but making sure you're doing the right thing with what you're talking to the lawyer about. That you're making the decision based on you, based on what's best for you, based on what you need to do moving forward, and not a decision based on the past when you were making different decisions. Welcome in, Brie Marie. How are you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm glad. It looks like you were able to take something from that, Keisha. I'm so glad. Don't hit next. That's right. We got Barney the Mystic up next. So Barney, um, just let me know in chat if you just want a general reading and if you want to have a tarot reading or a rune reading. Thank you, Brie Marie. I like it too. I got some fun things planned for the room, so we'll see how it works. I'm excited. I've been excited all week. To get everything kind of up and running and messing around with things. All right, Barney, I would like to know how my planned lifestyle will be, but also the 400-mile test walk. Okay, so I am going to do a Norn reading for you for this. You know, that's something I'm sure we'll talk about too, Keisha. But I've been kind of going through my own thing with this move of just issues. Sometimes it's hard to accept things that happen to us, even like the good things. And it seems so like it seems I don't know the right word, antithetical or like the opposite of what you would expect. Can happen sometimes where you almost feel more guilty about things than you are appreciative sometimes. Okay, Barney. You feel relaxed how dim the lights are. It's a relaxing vibe in here too. Just wait till we can get the fireplace going. And I have well, let's see how this looks real quick before we flip the cards. I meant to do this before we start tonight. Let me see. You can see it a little bit. My head kind of blocks it though. Did it go out already? Anyway, it's some good smelling. I think it's actually kind of like a pumpkin. Yes, the deck, Barney. I like this deck. It's the Wizard's Tarot, and it has been a trusty companion so far for me. Um, I have my other tarot deck that I need to start using more, but I like this one so much I just haven't gotten adjusted to the new one yet. Um, I know like Jenny reads just breaks out all the tarot. I need to start working with more decks so I can kind of get there with it. I have the Runic Tarot as well, but I've only done a few readings with it. Anyway, here we go. All right. So for your past position, Barney, we have the Six of Cups. So this is the past for you. Nostalgia, happy memories, kindness, innocence, selflessness, generosity. Large gestures and dramatic actions are awesome, but it's good to remember that small acts of kindness can also change the world in ways we can't imagine. You never know how some little gift and gentle word will ripple through time and affect the future. But you kind of do know, at least in this case for the Six of Cups, let you know that your actions now will have bigger consequences. Pay attention to those around you and be ready to give exactly what is needed. And being in the past position, I feel like this is saying that you've been someone who have done those little things and been an important person to the ones who were closest to you. We have the Eight of Wands. This is in the present position. The Eight of Wands are all about speed, swiftness, events set in motion. Barney, it's about travel. It's about things running smoothly and reasonable consequences. The Eight of Wands is all about speed and action. Even though things are happening quickly, nothing should be a surprise. Events have been set in motion, at least to some extent, by your decisions. You have taken steps to direct events towards a specific outcome. The movement in this card is orderly, so things should go as planned, and the results should probably be what you reasonably expect. There are many moving parts in this situation. Because they are all rushing toward their destination, any additional impact can either change the course or more likely cause a lot of chaos. If you want to change the result, simply throw in a monkey wrench. Just know, though, that you won't be able to control what happens. Traditionally, this card has also represented messages and travel. So you have taken steps to direct events toward a specific outcome. And the movement in this card is orderly, so things should go as planned. Nothing should be a surprise. And I get that sense from what you're talking about. Like, you know what you're doing. You're working on something, you have it planned out. And just the fact that you kind of know how it's going to happen leads me to believe that you've put in that work. And then finally, we have the Two of Wands, which we just had for Keisha. And this is all about making decisions. What we were just talking about, doing what you want to do rather than what others want you to do. Or it could be doing what you need to do rather than what you want to do, or vice versa. Vision, energy, authority, determination, dominance. All about choices and decisions. A decision needs to be made and the status quo upset before events can move forward. I feel like that is just a continuation of what you talked about, this being a test run. That's a decision you're going to have to make. But it seems like the cards here are leaning towards you having a trip exactly the way that you planned it, in a way that's going to be beneficial for you. And then it's going to come down in the future to making that decision, if that's the leap that you actually want to make, and if that's what you really want to do. Yep, you almost have all your backpack gear, and you have told everyone that you will do this. The 400 mile will lead you thinking it's good or not for you. And if it is, refuse to listen to the naysayers. That's exactly what you have there. Exactly what you have. I hope you were able to take something from that, Barney. I'm not sure exactly where the Six of Cups comes into that reading at for the past. You might be able to, if that makes sense to you, if there's something that you can take from that as well, um, let me know. I just feel like you've done good and you've been good to people, and you're planning something. You put the planning in to make it go, and then of course you have that decision that you're talking about, and that's a decision you're going to have to make. That's a decision you're going to have to make, a decision that you have to follow your own heart with. The thing is, I still get my social, even if I air quotes homeless, because as long as I have a point of address, I will get paid indefinitely on the mainland. I've given a lot freely to help others, but I try to hide a lot from that. I don't know if it's face value on the Six of Cups or not. Yeah, I think it's. I think that answered. I think that the cards did a pretty good job of answering that one for you. You're putting in the effort. You're putting in the work. You're making the plans. You're excited about it. You have a positive intentions with it, and Yeah, let's do that, Keisha. Keisha redeemed a Runic Witch Oracle card for you. So the card you got, obviously, we have a cat here as the familiar. We have a crescent moon here. But Iwaz is a spiritual connection with the yew tree. It's thought to represent a connection with the yew tree, which is also the tree Yggdrasil, the world tree that connected the underworld with the upper world in the middle of Midgard or Earth. And this card represents spiritual knowledge, or it's thought to represent spiritual knowledge. Death is a great initiation to wisdom and hidden knowledge. So, this card in a reading symbolizes progress, even if things don't seem like it. So, you might not see progress, the things that you're working towards, but it's happening. Events will begin to speed up. Sudden change and transition are close. Be ready. Death. Death of a previous life and born into a new state. Pay attention and be prepared for your opportunity. You will know when it is your time to act, and it will take your courage and bravery. A sudden change and transition are close. Be ready. The death of your previous life and the birth of a new one. So that goes pretty well with the reading, Barney. I feel like that's if there was any hesitation that that's what your reading was about, we're right there again. We're back on this journey, the death of the old, the beginning of the new, a transition, a journey, for sure. Thank you, Barney, for getting a reading. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out, and also for the subscription. Thank you so much. Apples, lemons, it is your turn. What kind of reading would you like? A rune reading? A tarot reading? Well, that settles it. Buy the tent on Thursday. Buy the tent, Barney. No problem, Barney. You go get some rest. I'm a night owl, but 2:37 is pretty late for me too. So go get some sleep, my friend, and have a good evening. Apples, lemons, are you still hanging out? If you are, let me know if you would like a tarot reading or a rune reading. Camping is so fun and energetic. If you're camping or anything, I hope you have safe travels and take care. Yeah, it can be really fun. I used to have a blast camping when I was younger. Um, I've had more problems. Like, I don't know. I just don't take advantage of as an adult like I did when I was a kid.
Lo, there do I see my father.
Joe Roderick, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome in, welcome in.
Sisters and my brothers.
Thank you for the raid.
Lo, there do I see the line of
My people, back to the beginning.
No, they do call to me.
Welcome in, Raiders.
Take my place among them.
in the halls of Valhalla.
Good night, Barney.
With brave
They live.
forever.
Welcome in, Joe Roderick. How are you doing? I have hung out with you before. We had a little bit of a conversation the other day, so welcome in. Hope you're having a good evening. How was your stream? And what were you doing this evening? What was going on over there for you? We're just doing some tarot and rune readings here tonight. And I just moved, so I'm getting all my stuff together.
A wizard is never late.
I have all kinds of
baggage.
stuff going on.
Nor is he early. He arrives
Yeah, for sure we can
precisely
pull a
when he
card for
means
Joe
to.
if you would like to. I have a, let's pull a runic oracle card.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
All right, let me catch up real quick on what's going on with chat, and then we'll get to this for you, Joe. I, you have indeed. I realized I've never known you streamed or been here. I do stream. I don't keep up with my schedule like I should. Typically, the one thing I always do on here is I stream on Thursday nights, and I host the Witching Hours podcast with the Witching Hours with me and Medium Jenny Lee. We do that usually every other Thursday. And then I do occasionally come on to do readings. I'm trying to make it a more regular thing. On Mondays and Thursdays, we're not doing the Witching Hours to do some rune and tarot readings. So tonight is we just moved and everything is crazy right now. So this is my attempt to get a little bit more regular. You're just packing everything up and turning off lights. Go ahead, Joe. Do whatever you need to do. I know how it is when you're done with your stream. There's a million things to do, and you need to, as our friend Yo Erica says, de-stream. So if you need to go de-stream, take off, relax, whatever you need to do, for sure. But thank you so much for bringing your community here to come hang out. I appreciate it. Welcome in, Jeffrey the Seer. How are you doing this evening? Coming in with a raid. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know all kinds of lurking going on. I'll take all the lurks. The crazy train. There we go. All right, Joe, we got Tiwaz for you. And this is thought to be a connection with Tyr, a connection with the sun, justice, and sacrifice. This rune can represent strength and resolve. In a reading, this rune represents balance and a fulfillment of promises, keeping an oath. It tends to have a lot of masculine energy attached to it, intended to be used more for battle and things like that. You must live your own truth and not live for the will of others. Stand up for the weak around you and remain true and trust yourself. Relationships, passion will run high. And so this is thought to be a rune of strength and was used in that way. And of course, we have the eagle here as the familiar, because this is the Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle. So you get your rune and your familiar there. So that's for you, Joe. Hopefully you can take it if it means something to you and don't if it doesn't. But thank you for coming in, and thank you for bringing people over with you. And if I remember correctly, Joe, the last time that actually I have lurked in your stream a couple times since then. Sometimes I don't say hi because sometimes I'm doing other stuff and I don't want to like get in a conversation and then not be able to pay attention. But so I have been in. But the last time I talked to you, I think you and the real Mr. Weird were discussing some stuff about collaborations and things like that. So welcome in. And that is something that I was talking about with you guys that night too, was I'd like to see more of that. I have done some collaborations and we like doing collaborations. I think it can be a cool thing to do, and it can be a way to I don't know, kind of weave a connection. Like, because they're already there, right? Like there's already like people are going in and out of other tarot streamers or spiritual streamers, and they might be familiar with each other outside of different people's streams anyway. So weaving those together, I think, is just beneficial for everybody. So that was kind of what I was talking to you guys about that night. You're moving to more chatty streams. You like more chatty streams, so you're moving to more guest chat streams and less readings. Well, that's why I do the witching hours, Joe. I don't know if you ever listened to an old radio program called Coast to Coast AM. I do my rune and tarot readings on here, but I'm really into all things paranormal, all things kind of weird, and so that was one of the things I used to really enjoy. And so that's what I do on there is we bring on guests and we just do like usually about a 2-hour conversation of just interviewing a guest and talking about just about anything strange that people would consider paranormal, fringe science, spiritual, and I enjoy that. And that's probably what I like. I just like to have good conversation. So I definitely understand what you're talking about with that. I like doing readings, but I like conversation and hanging out, and chilling. I think you're right about that too. I think it definitely has more entertainment value. People feel everybody in the chat can connect. Like right now, anybody in the chat can chime in on what we're talking about. They don't feel like they're interrupting something. everyone can kind of give their opinion and key in. And I think sometimes, um, I think it's good almost to break up the readings that in that way. I would probably try to do that more once I get my rhythm going of, doing a couple readings and then kind of having a little bit of a hangout sesh, a chill out, do something different for a second and then kind of kick and then kind of go back into that again. Um, because I feel like some streams that I watch that just are reading after reading after reading after reading after reading, people come in and get a reading and they leave. They get their reading and they leave, or they don't want to interrupt someone else reading, so they're not like putting a whole lot in chat. And then people just aren't as engaged. So it's finding that balance between having a community that's all kind of chiming in together and feels like they can share and be part of what's going on, but then still getting some things accomplished, I guess. The people that just chase their own personal readings don't interact and leave as soon as they get what they need. Yeah. Yeah, those I mean, I don't know if if I'm opposed to them coming in because that's what I'm offering, but yeah, those aren't the people that are going to help build your community for sure. So, just making it, a place where everyone can kind of feel welcome and that people can talk in the chat and that people can give their own opinions. I know in Medium Jenny Lee's chat, there's people that will kind of do readings at the same time in the chat and kind of chime in and give their vibes on what's going on and stuff too. And it becomes more communal that way and people feel more involved that way. So I wouldn't be opposed to um I think that's a good thing. And for instance, I have a friend, a dear friend. We've been really good friends ever since high school, and he went into the hospital last night. He has a severe case of the shingles, and it's like he has it on his face. So like his eyes, he has like a viral infection in his eyes and all kinds of stuff from what's going on with this shingles, which is really bad. So he had to be admitted to the hospital. And that was one of the things we're able to do through community is um, put in Discord what was going on and people sending healing and there's a lot of
A
really cool
wizard is
people in this
never late,
community.
Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives
Asian Nice,
precisely when he means to.
Nisa. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, Foombi. So I put in Discord. So if you guys can send him healing vibes and some good energy, because I really do think it can help. And I think when lots of people put their intention towards something, it can be a way to expedite that. And that's something I would like to do with the witching hours at some point. The larger the audience gets, the more people you have, doing like thought experiments, but in ways to see if we can, what the power of a large groups of people with the same intention trying to manifest and create can do. My favorite stream since coming back to streaming was having Jeffrey the Seer and Lady Lucia Lemine as guests. We just went off on one tangent after another. Yeah, for sure. I agree with you, Joe Roderick. I think that's those are the kind of streams I like. I do like going and watching readings, but if someone's getting like a very personal reading, sometimes I just, I don't want to interrupt, and then I might, scroll somewhere else. Like I'm not gonna like leave, especially if it's a channel that I want to see. But you can definitely sometimes kind of become disengaged. But there's probably some people, not that I don't like watching people's readings, but there's probably some people who are, who really who watch it more. So I guess it depends too on, what you like to watch and what the entertainment value is for you. But I definitely agree with you that I like the community interacting, hanging out. And I do video games sometimes. So what I want to do is more community games where people who are in here can all play together, where different kind of games, and we've done some of that, and that's been fun as well. Trying to find games like for free that everybody can play and kind of jump on and hang out together. But that's not everybody's cup of tea either, because some people want to do something more spiritual, and so playing video games, there's probably way more entertaining video game streamers than me. So you got your whole list of those on Twitch for sure. Chatty stream is better for engagement and it encourages people to stay. I just ignore the chat if it's an intense reading, and my regulars have their own party. I miss it, but I like it. That's good, Joe. I'm glad that you're finding a way, because I had seen you before a while ago, and then I hadn't seen you once, so I figured maybe you had were taking a break, or and then I did, I started seeing you around again. So I'm glad that you're back, and I'm glad you found something that you're doing that's working. I agree with you about a lot of that. I agree with you about a lot of that. Oh, making necklaces. That sounds like fun. So I guess we didn't hear anything from who was next. So we will move on. So we got Bree Marie. Bree, what's up, Bree? Do you want a tarot or a rune reading? And if so, do you just want a general reading, or do you have a question specifically? A rune reading. Okay. Just general. I haven't had one of these in a while, and a career job application, so I'm crossing fingers. When you put out a job. Okay. All right. All right. We're going to do a Norn style. We'll do a past, present, and future, and kind of see how it connects with what's going on with you at a job. All right. We got Wunyo here. This is in the past position, and this is a good omen, and it represents, or thought to represent, joy. I always have to kind of remind that the runes are a little bit more historically, a lot of it is connections that have been made in more modern day, and trying to kind of sense what was going on with the past. But this is talking about prosperity gains. It's talking about um, what you have to apply to make things happen. This is a rune of manifestation. Um, it's a rune that can often bring friends and family um, together, because those are the places that we find joy. It's a rune that represents harmony between family and friends, and a community as a whole. Good news and happy times emotionally, romantically, and in businesses for business relationships is good. So we have a good omen when it comes to manifestation, which is exactly what you're working on right now. And then we have Gifu, and this is symbolizes in the present gift and generosity. This is about giving and receiving gifts. And in a reading, it's talking about knowing and respecting the boundaries and agreements of other people. A little harder to see it on there. This rune can represent that you may need to help someone out or that you may be the receiver of the help or good fortune. Be careful because you have to know when you're giving how much you can give. We're going to go to the future card here, the future rune, and we'll kind of see how all of these kind of play together here. And then we have Othala for the last one, which is all about home and ancestral roots, about moving forward, about marching towards evolution. It's a rune of material wealth. It's a rune of and spiritual growth and knowledge, and it's about personal development. And for this rune, it's talking about there's like this sense of sorry, let me move that over so you can see a little better. It's like a rune of inheritance as well, but there's kind of a double-edged sword with that because um, an inheritance can be a great thing, but also to receive an inheritance, typically you have to lose something, right? Like if you're receiving an inheritance from your parents or your grandparents, it only occurs, once they've passed. And so here's another thing of to move where you need to be in the future. There's going to be something that you might have to give up or sacrifice to achieve that. And yeah, this one isn't too bad. This is a pretty good one. That's the gift. The question always with that one is whether you're giving or whether you're receiving, whether you need to help someone or whether you're the person who needs help. If you need help, you know that someone close, that there's going to be someone who comes in to give you a helping hand at this moment. It's a little more tricky if you're someone who's being relied on to help somebody because that's great and helping is always wonderful, but make sure that you don't give beyond what you're able to give. So, thinking about the question that you had, I think you're definitely there with like the manifesting, and that's part of it. Like putting an application almost to me has always almost felt like like a manifesting. Like because things just don't pop up out of nowhere. Like you have to take steps towards getting what you want. And an application seems like a good way to do that, not just materially, but also spiritually. Like you're putting your intention out by putting out an application like that. Like I said, not just materially, but also spiritually. Like you're telling the universe that this is something that you want and you've taken a step towards it. And so I think that helps also with the manifesting. I think I must have missed something in chat. Let's see what's going on. You did that jump came out of nowhere, and you got chills. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed the reading. I'm glad you're able to take something from it. I'm glad I was able to do a reading for you. I have good vibes from it. Some reason I think I'm gonna need that special card to start. Linguist. Hi, Linguist. How are you doing? Welcome in. Was Jenny yelling at people? Jenny's card scream at us. She just only talked. I don't know. I thought maybe you guys heard her yelling in the background because she's putting together a new dining room table. That must have probably came in a million pieces. So if you hear a lot of screaming, that's probably what that is. I just gave her my toolbox and went and pressed the go live button. So we'll see what happens. Oh, the stream isn't loading for you. Bad signal. I'm sorry, Linguist. I hope you're enjoying your lunch break. And thanks for coming and hanging out with me while you have some little bit of time. Yeah, I don't think my cards scream at people. Hmm. Well, let me know if that's a continuation that you guys have. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that, but um, who knows? I haven't been through my settings and stuff for a while. I set it and forget it a long time ago. So if there's some issues going on, I can always go back through and look at bit rates and all that kind of stuff again. So I think that's the cue. I think we made it through everyone who had asked for reading so far. So if you would like a reading, feel free to jump in the queue and we can probably do a couple more of those. All right, Linguist, would you like a tarot reading or a rune reading? Twitch has been acting funny. Oh, tarot, please. Okay. Hmm. Oh, I love reading. All right. Let's see what we get, Linguist. All right. Looks like everybody's ready for this reading linguist. So in the past position, we have the tower. Well, we know what that's about. That's good. That's in the past position. So that's something you've dealt with. That's something that happened that you had to work through. You may still kind of be feeling the remnants of the tower, that sudden change and upheaval, the adversity, the downfall, destruction, the chaos that comes from the tower, that unexpected change. The building represented a worldview that you had built over years. It includes everything you've come to rely on, everything that you believe to be true, and everything that has made you feel safe and secure. It worked well for a time, but it no longer served you, and the tower came crumbling down. And so, what do we have in the present position? We have the Page of Pentacles. And here we have a student who's curious, enthusiastic, young, inexperienced, practical, cautious, generous, able, resourceful. The inquisitive and capable young page is curious about the physical world, loves the connection between the material and spiritual realms, and takes pride in being prepared. She practices with patience and humility. She is usually a collector, either of information or physical items. Because of her connection to the material world, she needs guidance to avoid greediness, hoarding, or materialism. When she develops a balance of understanding the connection between the physical and the spiritual realms, she will be able to move mountains for the right reasons. Definitely a big transition from the tower there. In the future position, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Another Pentacles. And this is all about dedication, focus, drive, determination, attention to detail. In the Eight of Pentacles, your power is being channeled into a loop with a very positive effect. Repetition helps create skill and speed in whatever you are doing. Practice is really the only way for all except the most gifted to improve. Doing something over and over in itself will eventually lead to improvement. However, in order to maximize your efforts, add discipline and discernment. If you examine each creation with a critical eye, you will learn to identify mistakes and ways to improve. So this is all about perfecting your craft, a dedication to what you're trying to manifest, on what you're focusing on, and what you're determined to create. Steady progress, attention to detail. And I was getting ready to say, I don't know if this plays well into what you wanted with the love reading, but I will say this for the love reading, this specifically sticks out to me as what I just said. Dedication, focus, steady progress, and attention to detail. And let's pull you a clarifier from the which is familiar. I had a dream the other night, and it makes so much sense with the last card. Basically, I think what it means is that my life was falling apart, and now that I walked away literally from all the drama, I'm finally at peace. And what we have in the reading for the runic oracle, for the witch is familiar there, is unexpected but inevitable change and disruption. Sudden and unexpected. Rethink your plans. Sometimes a great storm must take us out of our comfort zone. But I think when we look at the general reading we had here, I think that makes a lot of sense. Going from the tower crumbling to the page of pentacles, which is in the present position, and the future is about study and dedication. What this Haggalah is talking about, I feel here, is just talking about that there's going to be change. There's going to be disruption. That things are going to happen sometimes that are sudden and unexpected. And that's why this Eight of Pentacles is important, because you're going to have to stay steady. You're going to have to stay dedicated. I mean, it's easy to stay dedicated and to practice and to perfect something when it's easy, but nothing that's usually worth working on does come easily. And so just remember that you're going to have those times where you're going to have to show dedication and a dedication to what you're trying to do through times where it feels like nothing is happening or things aren't going your way, or there's some kind of change and disruption in what you're trying to do. So I hope you were able to take something from that linguist. It seemed like you've never seen the Haggalahs without linguists in the room. And working on what I've been wanting to work on for years, for sure. Yes, and Medium Ginny Lee does has her small group medium reading on July 2nd, and tickets are still available. Her last one sold out. So if you would like to get into a small group medium reading with Medium Ginny Lee and be able to try to connect with some of your people from the other side, make sure you get in there and get a ticket and reserve your spot. Thank you for putting that in there, Keisha. Thank you, Linguist. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Thank you for coming and chilling with me on this Monday. Yeah, and you've put a ton of work in, Linguist. You've done so much. There's been so much. Just in, I guess, the year that I've known you now. Like, so much. So, keep working steadily and stay dedicated. This will be great. Geeking Goddess, happy Monday to you. How are you doing tonight? Welcome in. Yeah, tomorrow Medium Ginny Lee's got her night stream, but then Wednesday I think she's got her day stream. So maybe you can pop in if you have that time off now. Just try to find inner peace and need some time to process what's happening around me without saying much, for sure. Well, I think the queue is empty right now, isn't it, Keisha? You almost trans-channeled Divine Mother the other day. Wow, that's cool. Have you trying to come through your third eye? That's something I've been thinking about more. When I was doing the meditation for the medium class the other day, we were like focusing on using the crown chakra more, which I haven't really used. I usually focus, like I'll get my third eye, like usually I can kind of activate that when I'm doing readings, and that's what I try to focus on. That's just been like a focus point for me, is like working with that sensation. But now I'm wondering if I should try to move that up a little bit. You asked her to come through during the meditation. I haven't, well, I had an interesting thing happen when I had an interesting happen when we did the last mediumship class. Um I don't know if we got to talk about this linguist because Jenny was very much like that was a linguist thing to do. Um I kind of went when we were doing the meditation for like kind of silencing your ego, like kind of putting your ego to the side. I just went straight out into the universe. And I saw, what are they called? Like the pillars of creation. Like I was seeing like nebulas and like the early stars. And like the universe was just like whipping around me. And essentially, like, I don't know what it was that was trying to show me what was going on, but I ended up getting like basically like who or whatever it was that was showing me these things where I was. They were trying to show me how infinitely small the earth and we were compared to the cosmos, because it started off where I was seeing like the pillars of creation and all these things and these giant stars. The one I saw specifically was like this giant blue star, and then all of a sudden, like all this stuff just started whipping around me, and then I saw the Earth, and then it just zoomed completely out, and I was like, oh boy. Your Twitch keeps freezing up. I think that's been a problem for a bunch of people tonight. I don't know if it's just my stream or if it's like a Twitch thing. But I haven't had any issues with my stream, and I think my bitrate is all in the green. So we'll hope that it's just Twitch. You've been meditating laying down and feel the same way and actually more comfortable. Are you having computer problems, or are you sharing your energy with your computer? You keep traveling more and more to Egypt, linguist. That's interesting. I had some computer issues earlier. I couldn't get Chrome to work for some reason. And at first I thought it was my internet, but then I could get like Edge to work. I just couldn't get Chrome to work, and then it fixed itself. So I don't know. Yes, Jenny is putting together a dining room table. So if you hear cursing, it's not me. You keep shungite by my computer to help with rogue energies. I don't know if I'm familiar with that. I'll have to look into that. So you started watching the Pyramid Code, linguist. That's interesting. Hmm. All right, I think Joe popped in the queue to see what if there's any messages that need to be brought in there from the night, though he doesn't have any questions. So, um, let's just see what we get there.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Cuddly Depren, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right, Joe, you had some cards jumping. So let's see what we got. So in the past position, we have the five or the five of pentacles. And of course, the pentacles we're looking at earth, resources, physical. Fives are chaotic. And once again, this for me, I do the Nor readings for the past, present, future. So in the past position, we had a feeling of being financially strapped, physically weak, completely overscheduled, or lonely for companionship. Uh, Essentially, just a position where there was some kind of need in the past that was prevalent. And when in those positions, it could be hard to ask for help and to accept help when you need it, even if it's just being offered, even if it's being offered to you. The position you were coming out of there might have been stormy, scary, and in that position, just like we were kind of talking about earlier with manifestation, just asking and just setting your intention to move forward would have been one of the ways you were able to work yourself out of that. And that's exactly as I said before, what we could focus on because that wasn't a past position. That's something that was in the past and something you've moved out of. Excuse me. The Seven of Cups is in the present position. So that's what I'm getting for the present, which is a lot of choices, imaginations, dreams. You have dared to dream, and now you have quite a collection. Dreams don't do a lot of good set on a shelf like a decoration. If you do that, after a while, they become mere fantasies. To manifest your desire, you have to take the cup and drink. Having too many choices can be as bad as. Move that so we can see it a little better. Having too many choices can be as bad as having none. It is overwhelming and can make you feel paralyzed until you end up doing nothing. You might be worried about making the wrong choice. Remember this card. This is a card from the Suit of Cups, and that gives you a clue. Your choice won't necessarily be the most exciting one, the most logical one, or the most potentially lucrative one. It will be the one that you feel in your heart and blood wants to come alive. I had this card the other day. I identify with this card, Joe. I don't know if you do or not, but sometimes we can have lots of different passions, lots of different things. It kind of reminds me, I think, the Ten of Wands, where we have all these wands and we have all these things that we like to do, and all these things that we want to put our energy towards, but there's just so many of them that we can't. And it kind of this card kind of reminds me of that as well. Just so many things that you want to do and that you have aspirations for and passions and so on and so forth. But at some point in time, you actually have to do them. Like, for instance, like I'm a musician, but I don't play music as much as I used to. And sometimes I have to remind myself, like, if I'm a musician, at some point I have to play music, right? Like, um, there's things that we can either put down, there's things that we can drink from the cup, or we can choose not to drink from the cup. And that's a decision that we have to make. And then for the future position, we have the Nine of Pentacles. And this represents good things, the wonderful life created by your own efforts. This is not about a single goal. You have created a life that suits you perfectly and is not dependent on anyone else. You had confidence in yourself. You knew your own mind. You acquired the skills needed to achieve your aims, and you exerted the discipline needed to hone and apply those skills. In short, you have accomplished it. It seems like you've already shaped who you will become. So, how does recognizing your achievement change you? Because you've done so much on your own and you've gained a sense of security and independence. You might have become isolated. Will your next step to be to immerse yourself more fully into a hermit like existence, or will you open the gates to your empire and let someone in to share it with you? Key words for this card that I think of are self confidence, achievement, security. And this is in the future position. So you've done those things. So you're waiting for that. You're waiting for all of that to manifest. I think the big question, the big thing that stuck out for me with this one was talking about, like, you found your path. You know who you are and you know where you're going and how you want to walk it. The thing that kind of stuck out to me was this idea of sharing it or not sharing it. Like that possibly being a decision that needs to be made. Like, you have self-confidence. You know where you're going. You know what you're doing. You know where you want to be. What is the relationship between that and the people around you? Okay, let me check out. Let me catch up on chat here. I love the Wizard's Tarot. I love the Wizard's Tarot too. Speaking goddess. It's been enough for the last 5 years. Thank you for the bless yous. Yes, I've done them. I'm waiting for the fruits. It often feels like fruitless ventures. Oh, that again. Teaching. Yes. I think that sounds good, Joe Roderick. Teaching. And I think that makes a lot of sense because I am a teacher. That's what I that's what I do. And it makes a lot of sense because it doesn't do so well if you know things if you don't share them with others. I keep reminding my soul that teaching requires having your bills paid. Yeah. Well, teachers can always have classes. But anyway, that's why you stream. Exactly. Out there sharing it with the community, teaching what you have learned, showing people what has worked. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's something you ought to think about again. if you feel like maybe that was something that was being kind of pushed your way. But anyway, Joe, thank you for getting a reading, and I hope that illuminated something for you. You were able to take something from that reading. I don't know. You know the fruitless ventures. I don't need to spend any more on things like that. Yeah, I get you. Joe, I'm a firm, and I'm not saying this to change your mind or anything, but just my interpretation of things. I'm I've done a lot of things, and I've done things I regret, and I've done things that I'm very proud of, and all of those things. And but I can honestly look back and say that just about everything I did was for a reason. Like even if it seemed kind of a fruitless venture, it opened a door. There was something that it was involved in it that helped me progress. So maybe that's the same for you. Even sometimes if things don't work out, maybe it helped lead to something else, meeting somebody that that you move forward with. There always seems to be some kind of connection of things I've done in the past where it helped somehow in progressing in the future. Yeah, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You don't want to put your energy into things that you're not getting something back out of. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The future is now, as they say, always. The future is now. The present is just a fleeting moment. And that's for sure. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, Joe. There's nothing wrong with manifesting and accepting. And that's something I've started, about my own self that I've realized is that sometimes, man, when things do happen for you, sometimes it's hard to accept them, even even though you've been begging for them. So things aren't always simple. Things aren't always as simple as you think they will be. And sometimes you have to look out. my, my favorite quote from like what is it like the four Christmases or whatever, where they're talking about you can't help other people on the plane until you put the oxygen mask over your face and then you help everybody else. Like that's you have to look at it that way. Like it's hard to give to people who are needy when you're needy. So um, sure. All right. Well, we're getting close to 10:30. If anyone else would like a reading, feel free to jump in the queue. If not, we'll go ahead and close up shop. I'll give everyone a couple minutes. No, being a saint is not economically viable. Nor do I think everyone was, put here to be a saint. I know I wasn't. I love to help. I love to help, but there's a point at which you can't help anymore. Plus, you want to help, being at another time. There's also helping people who help themselves is an important aspect of that, of what the intention is of the people you're helping. All right, I think we made it to the queue. So what do we have coming up? Well, let me say real quickly, I do have the most recent episode of The Witching Hours up. I put that up last night. That was from Thursday. We had Cheryl Costa on. Cheryl Costa has written numerous books pertaining to UFO sightings, and has one of the largest uh, research collections of where UFO sightings have taken place, and has published a book for each state. So, Virginia, Pennsylvania, California, whatever, of all of the sightings that have been reported. And so you can look through those to find out that specifically. Hey, hoaxers, what's going on? And then, so we kind of talked about the UFO phenomena, and the book she's written with that has been a respected kind of reporter on UFO sightings, and is currently on the UFO circuit. So that was awesome to have her join us. And it's a really great conversation that quickly also turned into her experiences as a Wiccan with witchcraft. And we talked about a lot of just crazy things that she has experienced in her life. So it was definitely a very entertaining and informative episode. So that's up. So if you weren't able to catch the Witching Hours live on Thursday, it is up on YouTube. It is up on Spotify and wherever you listen to your podcast. So go check it out. If you liked it, help spread the word around. I put the meme up the other day of Wayne's World, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on and so on. And that's really the way if we're going to grow the Witching Hours and get more and more guests on and bigger guests on. That's going to be how we're going to have to do it. Is just getting the word out and sharing it and putting out into social media world. And so thank you to everyone who's been helping and being part of that show, because I've just had an absolute blast doing it, and having you guys helping me turn it into a really cool project. It's been fun. Yeah, especially exactly, hoaxers, especially in this new world where you're not always pushed by corporate powers where you're getting assigned to a show, and definitely things are being done much more grassroots. So that's what it takes. And there's um, but I think we have something special with that show. I think we have a really good vibe and environment and guests, and I think our guests have felt pretty comfortable just coming on and talking about whatever they want to talk about, and kind of having a welcoming place to do that. So I think it's gone well for sure. So that's out. That's on that, as I said, that's up on YouTube and all those things. So um, that was a good episode. We don't have our next guest planned. The next show should be a week from Thursday, and we will see who we have on. I know Mark Hunter Brooks is going to be back on this summer. We're going to have Charity Janice back on this summer. We have some other guests in the pipeline. So we'll see. Cheryl has already said she would like to come back and talk more, so we will have her back soon. Tomorrow night is Jenny's nighttime variety stream. And then she'll be back on Wednesday for her day stream. And then I'll be back on Thursday night for some more, for another Shine of the Frost stream. So I'll be seeing you guys around a lot this week. We got a lot of streaming going on. So thanks everyone for who came to hang out tonight. So many people. Keisha, Linguist, Jenny. Thank you, Joe, for the raid and for getting a reading and hanging out and helping with conversation, and enjoyed having you on here. Hoaxers, thanks for popping in. I want to thank Cuddly for the follow, Asia Nanasia for a follow, Jeffrey the Seer for a follow, and Barney for the follow. Sorry, Barney for the sub, and Jenny for the resub for 6 months. I appreciate everyone who came to hang out, chill out. But we're gonna end it with the horn, so we'll see. I'm out of practice again. It's been a couple weeks, or maybe a week. We'll see. See what I can do. Let's go get it. Could we hear it? That was good, actually. Good. I got a good one off. Yeah, it's a pretty big room. It's long. Your dog started singing. Oh, all right. Let's see who we can raid out to tonight, guys. Who do we got on? Wow, I don't know if I have. We might have to. Oh, well, Jeffrey the Seer is on. I don't know if I've caught Jeffrey the Seer. Yeah, so let's go raid. Jeffrey the Seer. I don't know. I'm sure I have caught a stream at some point. But we will go. Raid and say hello to them. Welcome in, Bentley. how are you doing? We're just getting ready to leave. We blew the horn here and we're ready to head off for the night. But I'll be back on Thursday, and I will see you all later this week. I'll see you over at Medium Jenny Lee streams, and then I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank you, and we'll go ahead and raid out. So go ahead and go give a rowdy Giant of the Frost Viking raid over there, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. Thank you.